me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey! Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me.
In life, I believe that stereotypes are everywhere, even within something that is so popular in this generation. Comic conventions. With 4 main Comic Cons in the UK annually, and many others held on specific TV shows or films. For something that has become so mainstream, from originally back in the 1970s, barely 100 would show up, and now over 125,000 flock to these destinations. In this documentary, we will explore how the media portrays convention goers and what Comic-Con actually means to the fans. In social psychology, a stereotype is a thought that can be adopted about specific types of individuals or certain ways of doing things. These thoughts or beliefs may or may not accurately reflect reality. For many years, the media have portrayed people from alternate subcultures as some sort of outcasts, simply because of the clothes they wear, their hair colour, or because they have tattoos or body piercings, and Comic-Con conventions are not safe from this. And the media portrays Comic-Con goers as Jeff Albertson, or as everyone knows him, the comic book guy from The Simpsons, when statistics show that numbers of female to male are 50-50 split. The people who attend are geeky and mad, and yet that isn't how it is. Some call it crazy or fake geek. An actor even compared it to genocide. Whilst he did later apologise for this comparison, if someone's first thought is similar to a very traumatic time in history, something is wrong there. The actor Jon Bernthal, commonly known as Shane from The Walking Dead, says, "There's this sort of stigma attached to comic fans. The mania, the fervor." Bernthal told the Daily News, "The thing that I see that really links it all together is that they're unbelievably passionate and unbelievably intelligent. They really care, and they're really smart. I dig that, and it's always a pleasure to be around the fans." It certainly makes one think about the stigma he mentioned.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
Who doesn't like dressing up and pretending to be your favourite character, someone else? Once a year people do it for Halloween, why should you need an excuse?
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge, I watched, I let it burn. I threw your shit into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care, I love it. I don't care. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge, I watched, I let it burn.
And these costumes aren't made in a day. They are an art themselves, much like comic books. In San Diego, USA, which many see as the holy grail of comic conventions, over 130,000 attend, whereas New York Comic Con actually broke a world record last year with 167,000 in attendance. Stereotypes are usually thrown at minorities, but other people who partake in this lifestyle are minority when so many around the world flock to it. The estimated total of attendance to San Diego Comic Con since it was established in 1970 is 1,840,000 people. If everyone in attendance held hands, they would stretch 1,855 miles, nearly the whole distance between San Diego and New York.
How long have you been going to conventions for?
I've been going about an hour. I've been to a few over the years, London, Cardiff. I've never cosplayed until now. So yeah.
Since 2013.
I've probably been going for about 2-3 years now.
About 2-3 years.
If you had to explain Comic-Con to someone who had never been before, how would you describe it?
A gathering of nerds If I was to explain it to someone who'd never been, I mean, if you to say it's just a convention where people who are into the gaming, into their like manga, into their anime, things like that, and just general movies, comics, just come along and then just see what you reckon. And there's something for everyone here, in my opinion. If you're in love with movies or whatever, so they've got everything from gaming.
Are you a fan of something, of anything? You can probably find it at Comic-Con. You can find people who have got the similar interests. You can find a way of expressing yourself.
And I think everybody fits in.
What kind of atmosphere do most conventions have?
Good. Every time I've been to a convention, there's no negative. None.
No, because it's just full of like-minded people, and everyone wants to get your picture.
Yeah, everyone wants to get your
I've
picture.
never felt so
I wanted to
popular.
get people's picture when I've been previously, and it's just fun. Yeah, there's no negativity, I don't think.
Do you think the media portrays convention goers in a negative light?
I think people who don't understand it, it's very easy to stereotype.
I think so. Up until about the last 2 years, they have. I think people have, but ever so slightly since 2015 last year, people are starting to come to terms with it. It's because last year was the first time that cities and towns in this country had the first, like Telford and Doncaster, the first time they ever had, and Northampton was the first time they ever had a Comic-Con. So I think people are starting to get to terms with it, like the civil rights movement.
There's a bit of a stigma around it. Because people, I think it's a bit nerdy, it's a bit childish, a bit nerdy. It's just, I think it's just a way to sort of have a bit of fun, like meeting people.
I think sometimes it does. I think very much it's skewed in the media depending on what message they're trying to say. And I don't think a lot of the people doing that are actually regular convention goers.
Yeah, I think they do actually. I saw a news report not too long ago, had some outtakes, and it was just outside a cosplay convention. I think it was in Australia, and the reporter was calling the people that were coming in and out of the shop freaks. So it's just that one reporter's opinion, but overall I think there is a bit of a stigma against people that go to conventions, seen as childish perhaps.
I think it's stereotypes.
Why am I at Comic-Con so much? Basically, I love meeting the fans and stuff, but primarily for the last year and this year I'm here to promote Wireless, which is my web show, which is self-funded and my passion. So I can't think of any better place to showcase it.
What's your opinion of comic conventions?
My opinion of comic conventions is that they're fantastic. It's amazing how it's grown within the UK over the last few years. I first did one the first season of Primeval, and to me it was like such an eye-opener that this kind of world existed. But yeah, I'm happy to be part of it now. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great place for lots of different types of people to meet with similar sort of interests, dress up, be silly and have fun. I think they're great. I enjoyed playing that character to grow. You know, I very much imagine Connor Temple would be an avid fan of Comic-Con. And you know,
if you had to explain Comic-Con to someone who had never been before, how would you describe it?
I have though. A lot of my cast members from Wireless have joined me, and they've never been before. I'd say get ready. You're probably not going to expect what you're going to see. Keep an open mind and just enjoy the colour of the world that is Comic-Con, because a lot of my friends absolutely love coming with me to the Comic-Cons just to sit and people watch or meet people and just to enjoy the energy and the atmosphere. The atmosphere is always lovely, the people are always really nice, and everybody's here for the same positive reason. So I'd say go, check it out. It's going to be busy though, and wear some comfortable shoes.
Can you tell me about your interest in this career path?
Well, I started working for MCM about 6 months ago. Before that, I had studied media communication and culture at university. So I was kind of interested in subculture and the way that people attach to things within the media, and the big interest that people have in the media and how far they will take that. So I was really interested to work in a job where people are totally passionate about events, about conventions, and sort of the brand and the lifestyle that comes with it. And everyone is just so engaged with the shows, and everyone has such a good time that for me that's the most rewarding thing about working here, is just seeing everyone having so much fun.
Since you have worked here, what is the interest increase in this topic?
Like, massively. I thought I knew loads about film and television and comics, and then you come here and it's just absolutely enormous. There's so much going on, there's so much more, but I think that's the beauty of it, that you can come in, you might have seen a couple of Superman films, a couple of Batman films, might have heard about some characters but not really know, and you can just expand that knowledge just greatly, and I think that's something that happened for me as well. I've learned so much since I've been here.
Have you ever noticed discrimination towards the popular culture, such as comics and geek attire?
I definitely have. I think that less so sort of these days, just because it's so much more out there in like the public domain, but definitely think that people have a lack of understanding about the interests that people have in people in cosplay and stuff. People don't really understand why they're doing it. Maybe it's like our generation are a bit more savvy with it, so like other older generations might not really understand it. But I think that's where the discrimination comes from, is a lack of understanding. But I think you only have to come to an event like this to get the gist and get why people do it.
Do you think there have always been stereotypical issues in this industry, and why?
I would definitely say so. I definitely think it's been a very male-dominated genre and a very male-dominated event. I think the good thing about the last few years, particularly this year, and I can see it for the years ahead, is that our split is something like 55-45, which is this just magnificent, complete split of gender, complete split of ages, which I think is something that's come around in the last few years since the comic book world in media has sort of exploded.
The latest research shows that comic conventions and geek culture is being very popular in the masses of over hundreds of thousands, and there are a mixture of genders, age and background. Do you think the media portrays this, or do they still see geeks as unpopular nerds?
I think it depends on the kind of media that you look at. I think some places have got it, and they see that girls and boys are as interested as each other, kids, grown-ups and everything in between. They kind of see it, but there is still a lot of it that exists. But I think it's like a historical thing, that it has been associated with teenage boys for so long that's just not kind of broken down yet. But I think that last year, this year, next year are big years to break those sort of boundaries and show everybody how many people actually come to these types of events.
What do you think this industry is heading towards, and with what impact?
I think it's going to be absolutely enormous. I am so excited for the next few years, particularly with all the stuff, all the movies that are going on. You have to go like Justice League and all that's going on. It's just going to, I think this culture is just going to explode into the public eye. More people will understand it, more people will get into it, and it is a super exciting time to be a part of it.
Everyone who attends is so diverse and unique, but we all have one thing in common: an interest in popular culture. Comics, films, the list goes on. One thing at conventions nowadays are panels, a vital way for fans to connect with celebrities and inspiring people.
Yeah, I do. I've been directing since 2006. Actually, last year I won my first award at the biggest short film competition in the country, which was amazing to get some sort of recognition for what I do.
Oh, sorry, just having a stretch.
So, would you go to Comic-Con?